Hi, I'm DeWanda and you're watching Creators of Color TV. I was 15 when I started acting. My first art, I was a singer. I wanted to be a singer when I was 4. I was a writer before I started acting. In between singer and actor, I wanted to be a psychologist. And I always found that being an actor was the perfect combination of my strengths and my weaknesses. You know, I grew up really sensitive, and it gave me a place, a cathartic, safe space to process a lot of things that I was thinking and feeling. And I do believe that if you're an artist bone and marrow, and there's no hiding from it. And if you don't find the outlet and continue to practice, it's a need. It's not so much a choice as something that is born and bred in your bone and marrow. There were a ton of people who, I was training and trying to get through school, couldn't afford it at all. And I had a number of angels. I had a classmate's mom co-sign on a loan for me. The financial aid officer at NYU at the time was a Black woman. Shout out to Dory Smith. I had a lot of help, and I feel like, especially right now when we're at this space where we're reducing arts education, we're going in the opposite direction. We need a ton more programs and examples of people who come from real places who are in spaces of power, who can say, like, hey, come on, you can do it. Here's the support. My art is really heavily integrated into my life. I feel like anytime I'm researching a character, I learn a lot. And even more than that, I think I've always been pretty empathetic, but without a doubt, being an artist has made me above and beyond a more compassionate human being. I'm constantly called to think about, not about how I would necessarily respond, but how this person in this specific time and space, in this situation, would react. And it really, it really opens you up so that even if someone slights you, I take a step back and go, you don't know what's going on in their life, and it could be any number of things. So I think it also, just because the lifestyle requires you to be patient, if you allow it to, it can really build a lot of patience and a lot of compassion. I will tell you this about being a Black woman in Hollywood. There's no other group like us. There's no group nearly as supportive, as hands-on in their mentorship. And I find that, now that I'm here in this space, I have no shortage of women lifting me up. And I can say, I remember when I was training at NYU, and it was just me and one other woman of color who was Puerto Rican descent. A lot of my classmates had some real identity issues and major identity crisis, and they were really afraid that they weren't special enough, and it never ever crossed my mind that I wasn't special enough. Do not quit. Do not quit. And if you find yourself surrounded by people who are unable to support you, try to spend as little energy as possible trying to convince them. Just move on and go.